Investors, my name is Lee Hargreaves, also known as Greavesy1984 on the eToro platform. I am a full-time match bettor and I've been a part-time popular investor for the last 5 years. Before becoming a PI, I day traded and swing traded on various other platforms where I quickly made lots of money and then very quickly lost lots of money. I then set out on a real mission to become profitable. I started reading books, websites, watching DVDs and even taking online courses. It was from here that I began to build my market beating strategy. I then started to become very profitable day trading and swing trading, and I built up my initial investment to quite a large pot of money, to the point whereby on daily trades and weekly trades I was putting on more than I was actually earning in my full-time job. And one afternoon I was trading with more money than my monthly salary, and at that point I decided to move across to eToro to start trading with no leverage, and this is when I became a popular investor. Moving to eToro with no leverage meant that I was able to spend less time at my computer and less time watching the markets. By copying me, copiers get to invest in my knowledge, my strategy, and my ability to keep calm during difficult periods in the market. Simply by copying me lets me do the work for you. The reason I chose eToro to move to was because of the very low fees, the very low spreads, and the very low commissions in comparison to other platforms. My strategy now as a popular investor on eToro is a momentum-based, swing trading-based strategy. So at the end of every month or at the end of every quarter, I will reevaluate the positions in my portfolio. I try not to invest in more than 10 to 15 at a time, and they're all with no leverage and no crypto. The reason I do not trade or invest in crypto is because my strategy is based off of decades worth of data that crypto does not hold. I invest in strong, reputable companies because I trust these more than crypto coins, as I'm trying to build a very, very large pot of money, and it's going to be a pot of money that I hope to retire on. And as you can see by the side of the screen, my strategy has been very successful, although it's not exactly the same as I started out in 2018, 2019, but I have tweaked it several times along the way just to make various improvements on it. And as you can see, it's not impacted my performance at all. In fact, it's had positive improvements. So after 10 years of trading and investing, I now have quite a large amount invested in the stock market, over £200,000 currently. And some days I can see my portfolio drop more than a month's salary, and a way in which I keep my emotions in check is to always remind myself during the good times that the bad times are close, and then in the bad times I like to remind myself that the good times are close. I have a WhatsApp group with many of my copiers in, and it's open to my copiers who have been copying me for more than 3 months, and they too need reassurance, sometimes on a daily, weekly or monthly basis when things are not going well. And I always remind them to keep focused on the long term. We have a long-term plan and we stick to the long-term plan, but we've got to ride the bumps along the way. If I could go back in time and start my investing and trading journey all over again, I would tell myself not to listen to anyone. When I tried to move across from trading to a more slow and steady investment strategy in about 2015, 2016, I bought my first load of shares. It was about £10,000 worth, and one of the big banks came out and told people to sell all their shares. It was going to be a bloodbath that year in the markets, etc. So I closed all my positions for maybe a small loss or a small profit, and then the markets didn't crash that year. They didn't go down that year, and it was a very successful year for the markets. I learnt then that if a big bank doesn't know what they are talking about, then nobody else does. So don't listen to anyone. Buy good companies, dollar cost average, and just remind yourself that the markets are designed to go up over the long term. My long-term goals on eToro are to grow my current account, which is about £52,000, to around about £250,000. And in terms of being a popular investor, I'm on the verge of becoming an elite popular investor. I'm in the middle of studying for my wealth and investment qualification, as I currently have around about 550,000 US dollars copying me, and I want to grow that amount to around about 5 million. I'm quite greedy, but I think looking around the platform, that's quite doable with my performance. We are coming to the end of a very successful 2023 for myself and my copiers. I am bullish on 2024. I don't think we'll make as much next year as we did this year, but for a number of reasons, I am bullish on the 2024 markets. One of them being the US presidential race. I won't disclose my prediction, but I think it will be positive for the markets. And also, governments around the world are now starting to get hold of and tackling inflation and are predicting a number of rate cuts, which will also be bullish for the markets. So for myself and my copiers, I predict a healthy 2024 for us. So that's me. That's my story. Let me know in the comments, what stocks are you buying? What stocks are you watching? And what stocks are you selling?